All right, folks, good morning. We're starting a little late here, but let's get started. Um, first things first, let's take a look at the market and look at the economic data that's coming out today. So we do have some economic data that's already came out. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we had the following. We had core PPI month over month, core retail sales month over month, PPI month over month, retail sales month over month, and unemployment claims month over month. All major reports. And it's a mixed bag. Some came in better than expected, some came in worse than expected. Um, Later on today, we'll have business inventories at 10 a.m., not a major report. And then after the market close, we'll have, actually, no, we have nothing else. That's it. So that's all the news except for business inventories for today. But let's take a look at how the market has responded so far. Oops. So here we have the QQQ, the NASDAQ ETF. Currently, it's higher than where we closed yesterday. Yesterday was more bearish than not, but market went down, then basically went sideways after that. Um, so let's take a quick peek at which stocks were moving yesterday. Uh, Give me 1 second. There we go. So first up, we have Robinhood, HOOD, and Robinhood had earnings, by the way, yesterday. I think it did. Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure it had earnings yesterday, but let me double check. That wasn't earnings, it was something else. That wasn't earnings. Sorry, that was a different stock I was thinking of. So it wasn't earnings. They had something else happen after market. So anyway, Robinhood was able to reach target number two of 17.12 a share, and then it traded to a high just under 17.40 a share. But after hours, it's jumped dramatically. Next up, we have PayPal, which also had a very strong day. PayPal was able to reach target number two of 61.44 a share, and then continued after that, reaching a high of 63.30. So a pretty good move there. And then we have Affirm, AFRM, which was able to reach target number two of 39.62 a share, up to a high of 40.32. Other than that, let's see, we had Google, which was able to reach target number one to the upside, which was 140.23. Then it got about two-thirds of the way to target number two, topping out at 141.09. Next up, we had Apple, which was bearish, able to reach target number one to the downside of 171.34 before it went neutral. Next up, we have PDD, which was quickly able to reach its target number one to the upside. We were looking for a move beyond that to target number two. It got halfway to that, topping out at 127.85. Marvel was bearish, able to reach target number two to the downside of 67.82 by the end of the session. Coinbase was able to reach target number one to the upside of 263.62. Then after that, got choppy, was able to go halfway to target number two to 269.39 on the high. Mara was also positive, able to reach target number one to the upside of 21.23. And DraftKings, DKNG, was able to reach target number one of 43.06 and then quickly went past that to top out at 43.68, which was about 11 cents lower than target number two. And then after that, it sold off. So these were the best performers that we had for Wednesday. Now, looking at the pre-market, here's what we have so far, at least on my list. First up is AUUD. AUUD is currently up 20% plus. 5.1 million shares traded. It's at least $1 per share, so we will go ahead and add that to our pre-market radar. Again, symbol is AUUD. Next up, we have CCTG. That is currently up 31%, 4.5 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market radar, CCTG. Next up is FUTU, FUTU. Presently down 6.5% off of earnings. It's at least $1 per share, 1.4 million shares traded. So that definitely will be added to our pre-market watch list, FUTU. Next up is, let's look at Robinhood again. That's currently up 10.66%, 1.6 million shares, and at least $1 per share. So Robinhood, HOOD, will be added to our pre-market radar. Next up is Pixie, PIXY, presently up 14.46%, 2.3 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we'll add that to our pre-market radar, Pixie, PIXY. Next up is SoundHound, currently up 10%, 16 million shares traded, and it's at least $1 per share. So SOUN is now added to the pre-market radar. Next up, we have SPRB. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. Which is currently down 77.85%, 2.4 million shares. Looks like they failed on some sort of, drug trial or something of that nature. Let's see. They terminated their genetic disease study and cutting staff. So yeah, that's obviously bad. So it's currently trading at about $1 a share, down 78%, 2.4 million shares. We'll add that to our pre-market radar. SPRB is the symbol. Next up, we have SPRO, currently up 10.84%, 2 million shares, and at least $1 per share. So that will be added to the pre-market radar as well. SPRO. Next up is Tesla. Yesterday, Tesla had a really large bid of nearly 500,000 shares at 170. It was able to trade through that, and the pre-market is trading back up to that at the moment. But currently, it's at break even for the session, so this doesn't qualify. But it is interesting to note that where it is right now is right up against where that support level used to be. And lastly, I have WIMI. So we didn't add Tesla since it didn't qualify on our percent change. And WIMI currently up 28%, 8.2 million shares traded. It's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market radar, WIMI, as well. All right, folks. If you see any other stocks that meet our 4 criteria, let me know in the chat. Here are the ones we have so far. Let me post them in the chat here. And I see Trent's mentioned APM. Let's take a look. Yep, that's up 44.8%, 1.8 million shares and rising, and it's also at least $1 per share. So we'll add that APM to our pre-market radar. APM as in Mary. So again, we're looking for a NASDAQ listed stock that's at least $1 per share in the pre-market trading, at least 1 million shares traded in the pre-market, and at least $1 per share. So if you see anything that meets all of those criteria, let me know in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and take a look. Again, the symbol is APM. That was the last one we found. So if you see any other stocks that meet our 4 criteria, let me know in the chat. CCTG. All right, let's take a look at that. Presently up 30.6%, 0.75% of 4.5 million shares and at least $1 per share. Yep. So we'll add that CCTG to our pre-market radar as well. So if you folks, I have another 15 seconds here, then we'll have to wrap up. So any other stocks, let me know in the chat. While we're waiting for that, please be sure to like this video. I see we have 12 likes, more than 12 people watching. So please be sure to hit the like button. Greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel as well. Also, let's take a look here. IMRX, as just mentioned, is currently down 8.16%, 1.7 million shares traded, and it's at least $1 per share. Yep. So that will be added as well, IMRX. All right. If anyone happens to be watching, sorry, hold on for 1 second, guys. All right. So if anyone, AUD is already mentioned. So if anyone happens to be watching this replay and you're not familiar with our company, please be sure to check out fundertrading.com, our website. You'll see a link in the description of this video. Other than that, for everyone who's part of the coaching program, I'll see you there in about 22 minutes. I'll take a look at LAC really quick. That is not a NASDAQ listed stock, Leon, so that does not qualify for our list. All right. All right, folks, I'll see everyone in the coaching room in about 22 minutes. For everyone else, I'll see you in the pre-market pulse tomorrow. Everyone have a great trading day. Take care.